Welcome back to the Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, reporting from Chicago, Illinois for the Society for Human Resource Managers Convention. I'm here thanks to our friends from bestworkdata.com. They do an extraordinary job of helping people understand their employees and their hires, and delighted to be able to spend time today talking, from here. But get to also talk to some of my good friends there in Texas, including Kent Batman. He comes on every week with an energy and technology segment that we like to focus on. Big emphasis on energy. And he always has a surprise for me every time we get him on. Welcome, Kent. And what do you got for us today? And before you get into what you got for us, tell us about Vichem Eco Fluids, which makes it possible for you to join us.
Yep. Vichem Eco Fluids makes biodegradable drilling fluids. And we have, a product that works as well as oil-based mud, but clean and green and less expensive. So we're proud to offer it.
Awesome. So what do you have for us today? What have you been seeing, and what's been on your radar screen?
Well, Kevin, we've been talking a little bit about our friend Alton Holt, who is at the oil field cleanup company, High Tech. And I mentioned that they have a technology, and we're calling this simmer technology, but, kills airborne bacteria, viruses, and et cetera. Dr. Thomas talked a little bit about it when he was on the show a while back. But I'm studying up on it. It seems like an excellent technology, next-gen technologies. And I really want to talk more about this in the future. I realize it's not related to the oil field, and this is the energy corridor, but I discovered the process or the technology through the oil field. So, we're talking.
But it does have oil field applications. Make sure you mention that as well, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. In fact, he uses part of the technology in his oil field cleanup because works with hydrocarbons also. But interesting, we're getting a lot of interest, hearing of a lot of interest in the medical community, where surgical, facilities are using this or interested in using this to stop infections or hospital acquired infections. So pretty interesting process that, I know you and I visited with a little bit and anticipate doing more of that. We should see this week, a lot more activity and maybe some announcements on that.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'm excited about that. And I know that I have been stirring the pot, to find guests who are concerned about this issue. And in fact, I just sent out another what we call a HARO request, have a reporter out request. You got several more in the medical field are like, what? Yeah, we want to learn more about this. And so we're going to be, there's no question about it. As we move this thing along, we're going to build a lot more interest and excitement about it. And I think it's great. And what I like about it is that it, too, has phenomenal green implications. It helps make a healthier and happier environment. It helps people financially, helps institutions financially keep costs down, which, let's face it, all those hospitals and other institutions that we get service from, we want them to be as healthy and safe as humanly possible.
Well, exactly right. Plus the fact that, as we know, the best way to survive Obamacare is not to get sick.
Yeah.
You have to have surgery. Don't make it any worse and try and get well as quick as you can, because the government may decide it. I'm sorry, I'm really backtracking, but I have a friend in Scotland, and his wife was diagnosed with breast cancer almost the same time as mine was, as you know. And my wife, Elizabeth, has had a full mastectomy, and she's on her way to recovery and everything. And my poor friend in Scotland, they're waiting for basically almost any kind of treatment. I mean, they're just
any kind of treatment. Yep.
Yeah, they have to sign up and wait. And one of the things our doctor told us was, my wife is so healthy and her prognosis is so good because everything was done quickly. That's not the case in socialized medicine.
No.
So, coming full circle, let's figure out ways not to get sick and how to stay healthy and how to battle this stuff, in the quickest, most natural way, as opposed to having to go through the government programs, which will be slow, and who knows, they may actually include death panels, right?
Oh, no, they definitely will. Actually, the language in the bill essentially has them without using that language. Yeah, I mean, everything's driven by economics. There will be death panels. My grandfather died in England due to a death panel. My grandfather, my mom is right off the boat. I think I told you that, from England. And my grandfather, they were told by the hospital that it didn't make economic sense because he was no longer a taxpayer for them to do certain procedures for him, which led to him dying within a few weeks of that.
Just amazing. Well, that looks like where we are. Curious though, Kevin, the Kathleen Sebelius thing. Why would she not have done the politically expedient thing and got the lung for the 10-year-old girl? What in the motivation of Obamacare would say a 10-year-old was not viable?
Yeah. Well, they had a health czar, who really believed that viable life didn't happen until 3 years old or older.
Okay.
And I hear some of these people saying that viable life doesn't begin until they can take care of themselves. Well, that means mid-20s now in the 21st century.
Wow. I guess that's it. I guess 10-year-old just wasn't close enough to viability, so don't get her along even though they had one or two available. That should highlight where we're headed, or potentially headed. I still don't really believe it's done. I still think there's so many things that can clean this up. But along those lines, new technologies and things where we can keep ourselves healthy and avoid greater trauma, I think is the way to go.
Well, absolutely. And the reality is that statistically, there's few places where you're more likely to get sick, ironically, than a hospital. Statistically, more illnesses happen from people who go to hospitals than any other environment. And so, again, the kind of technology you're talking about, and we're talking about people who visit people in the hospital who get sick because they're in the hospital visiting. And so this is a huge, huge and very important thing. So I think it's awesome. BichemEcoFluids.com is Kent's with, but do you have a website for the other company yet?
Yeah, it's nextidea1.com, but it's not done yet. So we'll have to just get to that a little later. But next time I'll do the company. We'll be talking about it.
We will be. Kent Batman, he's here every week like clockwork, and we call it the energy corridor, but really we're interested in technology in general and learning how to exploit that to our advantage. All right, Kent, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Talk to you later, Kevin.
You bet. When we come back, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com.